The haunted forest. Deep in the rural heart of Southeast Asia lies a forest no one dares to name aloud. A place shrouded in mist and legend. Locals call it Prey Kamauch, the haunted forest. For generations, villagers whispered stories of strange lights, voices in the wind, and travelers who entered but never returned. Despite the warnings, 4 university students, Soka, Dara, Vanik, and Lena, decided to investigate the forest for a school documentary project. They were curious, skeptical, and in search of a thrill. Equipped with cameras, flashlights, and camping gear, they laughed off the village elders' warning as superstition. You step into that forest, you leave your soul behind, the old man had warned. His eyes, clouded with age and fear, pleaded with them to stay away, but they were young and bold. The first day was uneventful. Birds chirped, insects buzzed, and sunbeams filtered through the trees. They pitched their tents near a stream and filmed scenes about local legends. That night, as the campfire crackled, they heard soft chanting echoing through the trees. Thinking it was distant villagers, they dismissed it, but Soka looked uneasy. "I don't think we're alone," he whispered. At midnight, Dara awoke to the sound of footsteps circling their tents. He peeked outside but saw no one. The sound stopped suddenly, leaving behind an unnatural silence. The air felt heavy, as if the forest itself was watching. The next morning, they found strange markings carved into the trees around their campsite. Symbols none of them recognized. Vanek joked that it was just an animal or some prankster, but Lena noticed something strange in the footage from the night before. In one frame, just beyond the firelight, stood a dark figure, unmoving, almost like a shadow with glowing eyes. Terrified, they decided to pack up and leave, but the trail they had followed into the forest was gone. The trees now seemed unfamiliar, twisted unnaturally. Compasses spun uselessly, and GPS signals vanished. Panic set in as hours passed without progress. It felt as if the forest was shifting around them. Night fell again. That second night, Soka vanished. One moment he was collecting wood, the next, nothing. They searched for hours, calling his name, but the forest swallowed their voices. Then came the scream, not from Soka, but something deeper, more monstrous. They ran until they collapsed from exhaustion. The next morning, Dara was missing too. His tent stood untouched, belongings still inside, but he was gone without a sound. Lena found a single red thread tied to a tree. One Dara had used on his camera bag. It led deeper into the woods. Against Vanek's pleas, Lena insisted on following it. As they walked, the forest grew darker, though it was still morning. The trees here were dead. Their bark blackened as if burned. Bones hung from branches, tied with rope and strips of old clothing. Lena whispered, "This isn't nature, this is ritual." The thread led them to a clearing with an ancient shrine. Carved from stone, it was overgrown with moss and vines, but the center was clean, as if something still used it. Offerings of animal bones, feathers, and candles surrounded the altar. Blood stained the rocks. Then they saw him, Soka, or what remained of him. He was tied upright to a tree, eyes wide open, mouth agape in eternal scream. His body was dried, as if the forest had drained every drop of life from him. Lena screamed and stumbled backward, knocking over a bundle near the altar. Inside were the camera bags of other hikers. The missing ones. They weren't the first. Suddenly, whispers filled the clearing. Shadows moved among the trees, circling. Vanek grabbed Lena's hand and ran. Branches clawed at their skin, the forest unwilling to let them go. They ran until Lena tripped, hitting her head on a rock. When she awoke, it was quiet. Vanek was gone. She was alone. Days passed, or maybe just hours. Time didn't exist in the haunted forest. Lena wondered, haunted by the voices of her friends, by flickers of movement just out of sight. Hunger gnawed at her, but worse was the fear. The feeling that something was always right behind her. Eventually, she found herself back at the shrine. No matter where she went, it brought her back. The forest had chosen her. The last scene on her camera, later found by rescue teams, showed Lena standing before the altar, eyes empty, whispering in a language no one could understand. Her body was never found. Aftermath. Weeks later, a team of villagers ventured into the outer edges of the forest. After spotting smoke, all they found was the abandoned camp, 3 empty tents, and a camera buried beneath leaves. They took it back, and the footage shocked them. Government officials sealed the forest, labeling it a protected area, but locals knew the truth. Prey Kamayoch hungered for souls. It didn't want visitors. It wanted offerings. To this day, villagers hear cries echoing from the trees at night. Some say it's the wind. Others say it's the students, forever trapped in the forest's curse. No one enters Prey Kamayoch anymore. No one comes back.